Good morning, strangers. It's Sunday, and today I'm going to talk to you about writers that have influenced me. Since I'm doing Camp NaNoWriMo right now, I wanted to talk about writers who have influenced me through the years and the things that are influencing my current novel that I'm working on. So one of the first writers that I really admired was Kurt Vonnegut, along with Ray Bradbury. I sort of linked them together in my mind as writers I was exposed to in middle school who write science fiction in a really exciting, relatable way. That's not just aliens and spaceships going pew 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 in like this world that you can't relate to. It's people going through real things and telling really human stories in this bizarre world. Another writer that influenced me is Chuck Palahny. I was really into Palahny in high school, and while now I find his style to be a bit trying too hard to be edgy and controversial, at the time, this guy really introduced me to how to structure a sentence and like how to use words in a really poetic manner to get across what I wanted to get across. And it really had an effect on my writing style at the time. The next author is Neil Gaiman, who has been one of my favorites since I discovered his work. As with Vonnegut and Bradbury, I really love the way that he creates these really human stories within an extraordinary world. I've always been interested in ordinary people who were like thrown into the extraordinary, and this is a great example. I also love his way with words. He really knows how to write words, and I love his audiobooks as well. He's one of those writers who can read his work so well. And the next author is Karen Russell. I discovered her books a while ago, and I really enjoy how dark they are, but also how down to earth, despite the fact that everything she writes is normally fantasy of some degree. Even if it's generally realism, like her book Swamplandia, there's aspects of it that could be supernatural. And as with Gaiman and Bradbury and Vonnegut, she writes these really human characters, and it's so down to earth the way that she portrays all these supernatural things. Another author I really admire is George R.R. Martin. I don't have any of his books with me because I've been listening to A Song of Ice and Fire through audiobook, which is super fun. 33 hours of Roy Dotrice narrating the events of Westeros is pretty great. And again, I love the way that he focuses more on the characters than on the world, although he does some amazingly intense world building. I'm writing a novel that has a lot of world building, and his way of fitting in exposition and all this detail has really been an influence on how I am building the world of my novel. So the things that directly influence my novel, for one, are the song Calamity Song by the Decemberists. That was the song that first made me think of this idea. Another is, strangely, Lonely Girl 15 somehow managed to creep into my novel. Another influence is The Hunger Games, because I've got this city underground and it just can't help but be inspired by District 13. I also feel like Xenon, Girl of the 21st Century, somehow kind of crept in there without me knowing. So I hope that that was illuminating about writing. If you haven't read any of the authors that I talked about, do it now. So don't forget to be awesome, and I will see someone on Monday.